Hey everyone, I'm Bottles and it's Halloween! Though it is Halloween, I have to say, I'm pretty sick and tired of the humdrum traditions of the holiday. Sure, I could be watching some trashy horror movie. Sure, I could be out trick-or-treating. Hell, I could be at a Halloween party with, friends. But where's the danger? Where's the thrills? Where's the Halloween spirit? So today, I set out this All Hallows Eve with one goal and one goal in mind. I want to be a Creepypasta Protagonist! So how do I do this? Well, I've gone on the deep dive on the Creepypasta archive and I've come to a conclusion. Running into random demons is too hard. I've never seen a demon before on my day-to-day, so what are the chances that I'm gonna randomly run into one now? Slender who? Jeff the who cares? But you know what there is a plethora of? Haunted video games. Look at how many video game creepypastas there are! We can't just play any horror game though. We need to play horror games based off of non-horror things. Think about how many creepypastas are based off of things like Sonic, Mario, Pokemon. There are thousands. I'll become a Creepypasta Protagonist and still have time to finish my Reese's Pieces. I've grabbed all different types of horror games. Some based off of Mario, some based off of Sonic, some based off of Kirby. I know you all like it when I talk about Kirby. And maybe some surprises along the way. So let's play as many as we can to see if we can get a successful haunting. But before we do, today's video is sponsored by you guys. All of this is made possible by the support that you guys show, so if you haven't already, please hit that like, share, subscribe, and smash that bell as well. If you really want to help out, become a channel member and you will get content earlier than everyone else. In fact, if you were a channel member, you could have seen this video a day early. Also, if you'd like, check out our merch in the description below and leave a tip if you'd like. Any money made off of videos and streams goes directly back into the channel, so every little bit counts. Back to the video. We're starting out with a Kirby one. Kinda. Alright, I must admit, there isn't a huge amount of Kirby horror games that are available on the market, so you'll just have to bear with me. This game seems to be a collection of EXE games all wrapped up in one package. Oh boy, that means we have 3 times the chance to get haunted this time around. Let's hope we get something good. So, we start out with our favorite pink puffball. Hey, did you know that Kirby is gender neutral? If you haven't, check out this With Kirby page on Kirby misconceptions. It's a fascinating read. I'm getting distracted by fun facts. This is horror protagonist creepypasta time. Starting with Kirby's Adventure.exe, the game starts as normal, showing me how to draw Kirby. As you saw, it turned spooky for just a frame. Classic creepypasta stuff. Pressing start at the title screen starts us as normal, except, wait a minute, hey, where'd all my health go? Talk about hard mode. With only 1 hit left, I trek on to try and beat this stage. Turns out to be easier than I thought since there are no enemies to be found anywhere. I feel pretty alone, and it's not because I'm actually just recording this in a room which I choose to lock myself in 20 hours out of the day. I'm not a hermit. Well, isn't this gonna be the most boring game of all time? Oh, and now the music has gone away. What am I supposed to jam to now? Oh, I see. I'll just jam to this blood that I am now forced to walk on. Kirby starts to look pretty worried and even looks at his shoe at one point to see what he's stepping in. I don't know about you, but just like Kirby's current copy ability, I'm scared. We get a message from someone welcoming Kirby to his new dreamland. Ooh, I wonder what world Kirby will find himself in now. Oh, I see. Hell. With a bunch of dismembered Waddle Dees and impaled Waddle Doos, I think Kirby will be just fine. Oh, whoops. Sorry, Kirby. I didn't see that obstacle there. We get to see Shadow Kirby, who marvels at his beautiful achievement. Kirby is somehow still alive after that and has gotten the Fear copy ability. He continues and cries as he walks. Oh boy, I'm all spookered now. As we try to continue, the ground crumbles beneath us. We end up about to fight Wispy Woods, but he looks kinda analog horror-esque. At that moment, Shadow Kirby shows up and crushes Kirby with a giant apple. Try to keep that doctor away now, bitch. Shadow Kirby tells me to give up. Joke's on you, I already have, asshole! Even after dying a second time, Kirby appears going through a dark level. No copy ability to be seen. As I trek on, I see quite the sight. A dismembered and bloodied King Dedede and Meta Knight. Whew! They didn't get Bandana D. All hope would have been lost. Then the game introduces the scariest concept to me of all. Reading. Your time has come, Kirby. The time is that where you die. Oh, you think the developers can stop me? I hack the system! Now Masahiro, Shigeru, Satoru, Kensuke, Shinichi, Shinya, and HAL Laboratory Incorporated can't remove me. For those of you normies, or as I like to call you, sane people who don't know who Shadow Kirby is referring to, there's your info dump. Back to the scares. Soon, you will become one of us once you die! Shadow Kirby rolls around at the speed of sound towards me and screams in my face, killing me one last time and giving me a game over. Alright, I'm fucking done with Kirby. I'm moving on to Bomberman. Oh god, I am so insanely bad at Bomberman. After a while of doing my best to play this game legitimately, I found a neat exploit. Just mash your face inside of the enemies and just feed them the bomb directly. Well, that's violent. After popping all of the balloon people, a door appears and I move on to stage 2. Once again, business as usual. We place the bombs inside of the enemy and... oh, the music cuts out and I can't help but notice I got 666 points for that. We walk around as text flashes on the screen that I can't read because it's going way too fast. Soon enough, Bomberman turns red and then we get warped away as the game asks us one simple question. Why do you have to pirate the game? I didn't pirate this game! I just downloaded it for free off of Oh wait, that might be pirating. Not cool, man. Hey man, I'm sorry. Now you have to pay the consequences. According to eBay, Bomberman on the NES goes for about 15 bucks. Is that enough to cover it? I get put inside of a really, really dark stage. I can only sort of make out where I am. The stage is empty. I can drop bombs, but they explode with blood instead of flames. I sit here, only able to watch the 200-second timer count down. Yes, I have to wait here the entire time. I start getting messages again. What you realize, you're stuck in an endless loop of maze. As I walk around, I see a spectral version of myself start to appear behind me every few seconds. Pirates must stay in this loop for eternity. When the timer strikes 0, you'll say goodbye to this fellow man. It might take a while, like a few minutes. That's so funny that they felt the need to include that. They could have just as easily shortened the timer, but they really wanted us to steep in our suffering. Noticeably, the shadow starts appearing more and more as the timer marches forward. Once the timer finally hits 0, Bomberman screams at us as we get the message, "It's time!" We see Bomberman in a black void as a demon version of him gets to him and makes him explode. Demon Bomberman stares at us for a little bit, becomes shaded, and then he eats us, resulting in another game over. God damn it, I'm so bad at these games. No more Bomberman, we're moving on to everyone's favorite NES game, Euphoria the Saga. What? You've never heard of Sunsoft's Euphoria the Saga? For a short summary, for you fake gamers who don't know, Euphoria the Saga is a game developed by Sunsoft in 1991 for the NES. It only saw release in Japan and Europe back in the day and didn't reach American consoles until 2010 as a part of the Nintendo Wii Virtual Console. Anyway, let's start playing this forgotten classic. We see our main character as he speaks directly to us. Hello, my name is Bop Louie, and I am in trouble. I was living in a peaceful land called Euphoria. One day, my friends and I found a gigantic crater near the place where we live. We were all very curious to what was down inside, but we came too close to the edge and slipped. Now I am lost in a strange world and I do not know where my friends are. Things start to take a turn as the screen darkens. Wait a minute. Something is not right. Why are you here?
Why do I keep getting asked this? I want to play some video games, numbnuts! Just to discover on what's happening? That's what I thought. Leave. It's not safe here. Oh boy, we're starting to get the real creepypasta parts. Maybe I'll become a creepypasta protagonist yet. Please, I don't want to die alone. Join the club, buddy. I'm stuck in that never-ending void as well. You don't see me having an existential panic. We finally appear in the game as Bop Louie starts shouting for his friends. Yeah, we're finally squishing our ways into video game. As we go forward a bit, it seems our buddy Bop Louie knows he's in a creepypasta, knowing that things are a bit empty and boring. We go through the game, finding out that we have levitation powers, apparently, and trek our way through. As we enter the cave, Bop Louie starts to have premonitions of something bad happening. I ignore him because he's obviously being paranoid, and then he starts cursing at me. Rub your mouth out, young man, that's inappropriate. Seriously, Bop Louie must be the most disgruntled creepypasta game character in existence. As we continue, we get sent to a special stage, which is just Bop Louie in a dark void. Honestly, already better than the Sonic 1 special stages. As we continue on, we find a treasure chest with a star inside. When we collect the star, everything glitches out so much that the game crashes. I shrugged it off as a glitch and I moved on. Restarting the game, we go back in and are given our one and only mission: sacrifice them. We find Freon Leon and we drag him over to the next screen and kill him by showing off our sick WWE skills and then stabbing him. We apologize after committing such a heinous act and continue on in crunchy visuals land. Bop Louie keeps trying to guilt trip us, telling us that if we just listened and didn't play the game, he wouldn't have become a murderer. Honestly, bro, I believe in personal responsibility. I didn't tell you to do anything, that was all you. Phoenix Wright ain't gonna get me on unaccomplished charges. Hold it! I can't argue with that. Oh, hey look, what was hiding behind that text box? The same iGif that I use when I want things to be creepy. Bop Louie tells us that he doesn't deserve to be existed, and he jumps off a cliff. The game glitches out and the ROM disappears. What the hell? I paid $100 for this game! 2 eBay jokes in one day? I must be feeling frisky today. Thankfully, the game has a failsafe for this and installs a new ROM onto our cart for us, which happens to be Hebereke, aka the Japanese version of Euphoria. We start the game and Bop Louie is now replaced with this duck character. We go to the place that Louie didn't let us get to before to find ourselves in a black void once again. Here, we see a tall and lanky version of Bop Louie as he opens his mouth and we're sent to the game over screen. 3 game overs in one day. Screw this, I'm done playing computer games. I shall make you pay for your ignorance. That's not fair. If I'm ignorant, that means I didn't know what I did. Oh, hello. Well, this game collection has run its course. So now what? Well, the game decided for me because it says goodbye and then fucks off. I go to my desktop to find something else to play, but I notice my desktop background has changed and my mouse starts moving on its own erratically. I start to hear some creepy noises as my mouse dances for a while. Just as I think, is this ever gonna end? My mouse stops moving. I go to try and inspect my new desktop background as I get jump scared one last time by this multi-eyed menace, and then get a teaser for a Kirby's Adventure Plus, and closing the game actually sends us to the Game Jolt page. This game definitely gained a lot more momentum as it went on. What started out as your typical EXE experience started experimenting with different concepts such as subliminal text and text boxes that talk directly to the player, ending it off showing that the programmer knows how to fuck with your PC, which seems to be a new staple of EXE games. I wish the game was a bit scarier as a whole and had more of those fourth wall breaking elements, but this is definitely a good tech demo that gets me excited for their next project, Kirby's Adventure Plus. All in all, a horror experience I would recommend to any of you out there. It's only about a 30-minute experience, but I like what it showed me.
I do want to say, though, I don't want to assume that I'm haunted yet. I feel like I should play more horror games just to make sure. So let's move on to something a little bit shorter, shall we?
We start out on this creepy title screen that gives me Five Nights at Freddy's 4 vibes, with text that reads us the title of the game. I think about quitting, but remember my goal and continue on my quest. When we start the game, Kirby is plopped down into a dark, spooky amusement park. Did Magalore make this place? This one already has quite the interesting control scheme, since not only do you walk around, but you use the mouse as a sort of flashlight to see where you're going. After learning just how bad I am at this game by jumping in the same pit 3 times, I finally get past this pit and make it to the ultimate watermelon balloon. Finally, I have my precious, after being teased by it for the past 30 seconds of dying. Continuing on, I make it past another pit without dying, yay me, and go through these big doors with a skull on top. I show off my epic platforming skills to get across these gaps to collect my second balloon, and I win! Wait, that's it? Where was the horror? The jump scare? The haunting? Nothing? If I'm going to be fair to this game, it has a lot of potential, but needs a lot of work done to really flesh it out. I'm going to start with the criticisms first before I go into what I liked about it. First off, there's no real horror in this game. The creepy environments and the creepy music is a good start, but there's no enemies, there's no story stakes. Hell, when you die, you just get sent to a screen with text saying that you died. For a second, the game has no animation whatsoever. When you move and jump, Kirby does not move at all. He just kinda slides along the ground. Obviously, this is an indie game, so I'm not expecting grade A animations, but even a little bit would help this game on the presentation department. Lastly, it's just too short. Without dying, I wouldn't be surprised if I could beat this game in under a minute. You just go through 3 screens, and then the game decides that you win. I actually had to look up if this was all the game had to offer because it just seems so short. What I did like about this game though was the concept of using your mouse as a sort of flashlight in this 2D space. I can see a great amount of horror opportunities that can arise if this is fleshed out. What if you're looking around the environment to see if it's safe to jump across, and all of a sudden you see something out of the corner of your vision slink out of sight? Hell, you could even use it in the opposite direction, and have the player check ahead for safety, creating a false sense of security before they're scared by an unseen horror right off screen. It's a good idea, and I would love to see Arnader flesh out this concept, because he could really have a great horror game here if he keeps at it.
Unfortunately, I don't think I'm haunted yet. There wasn't even a demon in that game. I think we need to move on from Kirby. Where else could we look? Let's try something a bit unorthodox.
Let's see if SpongeBob gives us any more luck in getting any sort of haunting. I mean, we're mixing together lost episode and haunted video game genres now. This has to be, like, guaranteed haunting, right? I start up the game and am greeted with a faceless SpongeBob. Starting the game shows that we are playing as a gangster fish. He's looking pretty fly for a fish guy. A bus drops us off by these woods when we wanted to get to underwater Albuquerque. The bus driver calls us a dumbass and we decide to walk our ass there ourselves. We walk down the road and find ourselves inside of these dark woods with a golden spatula in front of us. Collecting the golden spatula, our goal is set. Collect all 8 golden spatulas to win. The game gives you no sense of direction at all, just wander until you find the items you're looking for. Along the way, we find certain interesting sights. Exploring through the woods, we find a half-buried Krusty Krab on fire. There's no golden spatula here, but I have no choice but to move on. As we continue exploring, we see a faceless SpongeBob static on the screen. I hate that. Not because it's scary or anything, but every single time it happens, it makes me jump. It's annoying! Going on in my exploration through those woods, I start to hear a slowed down version of Best Day Ever playing through my speakers. I turn around and there he is! The faceless SpongeBob slowly floating towards me. I run away as fast as I can until the music goes away. Deeming myself safe, I continue my search. I come across SpongeBob, Squidward, and Patrick's houses, half buried like the Krusty Krab was. As I walk towards the golden spatula, lying here on the ground is a dead Patrick. Oh man, I'm so spooked right now. I wander the woods for what feels like hours, but in reality was only about 10 minutes. Doing nothing but avoiding our faceless peripherin and— Jesus, shut Eventually, I complete my hunt. I found the last of the golden spatulas, and I'm met with... Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be haunted by this game. Yeah, I think it's time to address the giant elephant in the room. This is just a Slender clone. I haven't talked about it a lot on the channel in a long time, but back in the early days of this channel, I'm talking like 2012, 2013, I was very vocal about my distaste for Slender. Now, I don't hate the game or anything, its impact on the genre of indie horror cannot be overstated. My problem is that I honestly think Slender is really boring. The main gameplay of any Slender game is that you have to aimlessly wander around what is usually a dark forest, finding these objects while avoiding whatever is chasing you. Both with the original Slender and this game, I had the same issue. There is no sense of direction and definitely not enough landmarks to aid in any sort of navigation throughout this game. Towards the end, it really just boiled down to me deciding to just run in a random direction and hope that I happen upon a golden spatula. I'm not going to pretend that this game is anything more than a joke, because if that intro cutscene didn't clue you in, then the ending should confirm it for you. I just wish there was a little bit more substance to the whole thing.
There's absolutely no shot that I'm going to be haunted by this specter, so let's just move on to the next game.
We open up the game with some backstory. On January 7th, 2000, Squidward's dead body was found by Spongebob and Patrick. After some investigation, it was considered a suicide since the gun was in Squidward's hands and there was no sign of a murderer. A few days later, Spongebob and Patrick were seen entering Squidward's house and never returning. The Bikini Bottom police investigate the disappearances and find a secret cellar door in Squidward's house. We are the police officer investigating the secret cellar. We get dropped right in and start our investigation, seeing that we have 7 items we are expected to get. As we continue on, we come across SpongeBob's dismembered leg. Well, this can't bode well for SpongeBob. Not too far after that, we find our first item, Squidward's clarinet. We continue down the corridors, cloaked in red mist. Oh, hey, I got the title. Down this hallway, we see another of SpongeBob's legs, and the message, he was. He was what? Stupid? Stinky? Stoopy sticky, stoopy sticky, stoopy sticky. I can do that a long time. We get flashed an image of a creepy looking Squidward in his room. We get to the end of the hallway and finally finish that sentence. He was wrong. SpongeBob's limbless corpse lies there in a pool of his own blood, and next to him, our second item, the magic conch shell. So what could they be referring to? It could be that the Bikini Bottom police were wrong about the circumstances of Squidward's death. It wasn't a suicide, it was a murder. Let's continue on. There's another room we come across. We hear the sound of blades scraping as we approach, and once we reach it, it is covered in graffiti. SB129. For the few of you who don't know, let me provide some context. Season 1, Episode 14A of SpongeBob is titled SB129. In this episode, SpongeBob and Patrick want to go jellyfishing with Squidward, and Squidward does whatever he can to get away from them. He runs to a closed Krusty Krab and, in an act of desperation, hides in the freezer. Squidward finds out that he can't get out and is frozen for 1,000 years. A future version of SpongeBob named Spongetron finds Squidward and unfreezes him. Squidward just wants to find a time period where he can just relax and not deal with SpongeBob and Patrick. Spongetron lends Squidward a time machine, and Squidward ends up going to the distant past, but runs into cavemen versions of SpongeBob and Patrick and accidentally creates jellyfishing. Squidward uses this to distract the cavemen and starts playing his clarinet once he's left alone. The cavemen go feral after hearing the music and start chasing Squidward as he goes back inside the time machine. Squidward accidentally breaks the time machine after freaking out that he just wants to go home, and it sends him to a world between time where he is truly and utterly alone. Squidward enjoys it at first, but then the existential dread sinks in. Squidward desperately tries to escape, but realizes the cosmic horror he has found himself in. He starts slamming on the ground and finds himself in the time machine again, and gets himself right back home. The episode ending with Squidward glad to be home. The main takeaway here may be that this mystery has to do with themes of time travel, or even the future? We find our third item in this room, a Krusty Krab hat. We come upon a storage area with plenty of shelves and boxes, and within we find Patrick's decapitated head. Well shit, looks like we ain't saving anybody today. Nearby in a little alcove we find our fourth item, a jellyfish net. We continue down this short hallway and get bombarded by a vision of Squidward's hyper-realistic red eyes. In this room we see Patrick's fate, crucified. Can't believe Patrick died for our sins. Hidden behind the cross, we find our fifth item, a piece of paper, Patrick's Christmas wish. Or the piece of paper that SpongeBob took from Squidward and had like loads of fun with. I don't know, whatever. We move on to our next hallway and see more graffiti. Truth is near. We get a vision of a demon Squidward. As we go down this seemingly endless hallway, we realize we are being chased by a demonic Squidward head. We try to run away but realize we are trapped, and with that, we die. We cannot accept this though. We had missing items, unsolved mysteries. I go back in. This time, being more thorough, we find our remaining two items. Bold and brash, more like belongs in my ass. The last item, right before finding SpongeBob's body, was his spatula. Now, with all 7 items in hand, I go into the hallway to face Squidward, and I die again. I then remember that there is a stamina bar that seemed wholly unnecessary. The next time I ran through this, I ran my little heart out. I find a ladder and rush up it. I find myself in a new room. I turn around and go down the hallway. As I approach the end of the hallway, we hear some Morse code. Translating the Morse code gives us the word, watch. At the end of the hallway, a code. 5CWFTDIZ9ZY. We get sent to a corrupted ending. There's that message again. SB129. I think on the 2 messages. The code, the word watch. Could it possibly be a URL to a YouTube video? I try it, going to a random YouTube video and replacing this part with the code. Jackpot. We get sent to a video called Truth, 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 and it shows the locations of 3 random cans found throughout the game. My hunt continues. This time I go through the game again, finding all 7 items and all 3 of these cans, and then successfully running away from Squidward again. I appear in the same hallway, but the end of the hallway is not the same. As I walk towards the distance, until I become the distance, would it make me the distance? As I walk into the distance, we get flashed the truth. Mr. Krabs did it. At the end of the hallway, we see the very time machine that Squidward used in SB129. This leads to the SB129 ending. We use the time machine to go back in time to right before Squidward was murdered by Mr. Krabs. We apprehend Mr. Krabs and he was charged for attempted murder, having to serve 25 years in a federal underwater prison. So what do I make of this story? Perhaps Mr. Krabs killed SpongeBob and Patrick because they got too close to the truth, and Squidward's ghost used this, as well as the items scattered around, to show us the truth. After telling us the truth, he leads us to the time machine which he kept in the cellar the whole time in order to stop his own murder, saving everyone. Either that, or I'm looking way too far into an indie horror game. I'm not gonna lie, this was actually more enjoyable than I thought it was gonna be. For a game where most of what you do is just go down the same linear hallway and collect items, it kept me pretty engaged the whole time. Also, I'm not gonna lie, when I solved the meaning of the code and even solved the Morse code on my own, I felt pretty proud of myself. Usually I suck at decrypting ARG puzzles like this, so to be able to solve one without any guidance was pretty satisfying. I know it's really simple, but it still made me feel smart. Let me have this, okay? I do have a few criticisms, however. First of all, the gameplay does leave a little bit more to be desired. Using ARG elements is a great start to creating puzzles in this game, but the game itself is just walking through a linear hallway. Some more puzzles and maybe even a hostile enemy would definitely spice up the gameplay a little bit. Hell, having a few more ARG type puzzles would definitely not just spice up your game, but also make it feel unique.
All in all, a pretty good game. Felt like I could get a pretty good haunting out of this. We're going to continue on, however. We've got one more SpongeBob game to look at.
SpongeBob Slaughterpants. I feel a haunting coming on. Starting up the game, we start out in front of the Krusty Krab. Walking up to these two police officers reveals that we are a Bikini Bottom detective. Now, for the rundown. A janitor at the Krusty Krab was found dead in the basement of the restaurant. The owner of the restaurant, Mr. Trabs, reported it to the police, believing it to be a murder. The police believed Mr. Trabs was using Among Us tactics and committed a self-report, so he was taken into custody. We are here to investigate with the police. We enter the dark restaurant with Police Officer Green and turn the lights on. We then head to the first place any detective should investigate, the bathroom. You'll never believe the shit you can find in there. Wait, why is my sub count dropping? We find a lockpick in the toilet and use it on this locker. Inside the locker, we obtain a key. We use the key to get inside of Mr. Trabs' office and we find a note on his desk. The note just shows a bunch of pictures of Krabby Patties. My big fucking galaxy brain deduces that this must be telling us the combination to the number pad located behind the desk. That doesn't stop me from fucking it up once, but I knew the solution. I just can't count. Going through the door, we find ourselves in a dark basement. As we are about to go through our first door, we notice that Green has disappeared, and we are no longer allowed to leave. There's no turning back now. We continue on. We walk through a short hallway and find SpongeBob as he summons a demonic floating corpse and a bunch of walls creating a maze. Now let me tell you that going through this maze was terrible. My god, it took me so long to figure out where to go, and I got cornered by this chocolate-loving living dildo more times than I would like. Every time I died, I had to watch the cutscene and listen more to how this fucking dick shit remembers when they first invented chocolate. Finally, after like 10 fucking minutes, I make it through. Finally, in the next room, I see SpongeBob wandering back and forth. I duck into the freezer to start looking there. Here, I see that I get the option to place a ladder, but there's only one problem. I don't have a ladder. So it's time to hunt for a ladder. Not before getting killed by SpongeBob, though. We respawn and we go into the break room to find any clues. There's not a lot in here, but switching on this picture plays an audio of SpongeBob killing Squidward, and it's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
No way, SpongeBob! Ah!
That's true art right there. We leave the break room and die again. Cool. This time we make more of an effort to hide from SpongeBob and go up to this door leading to the conveyor room. Of course it's locked and god damn it! Okay, so we make it over to this third table here and collect the key on top of it. Using the key, we finally make it over to the conveyor room and find the fabled ladder. Now that we're holding this ladder though, we move slow as molasses, and running doesn't really help us. So I very carefully make my way back over to the freezer and sticky keys! After that close call, we finally make our way into the freezer with the ladder. Placing the ladder down, we climb up and find a crowbar which we can now use to pry open the basement door and get the hell out of this hellhole. We go back the way we came and no fucking way. I have to do the stupid chocolate bitch maze again. No! This one is even worse than last time! After finally getting out of the maze again, We use the crowbar to pry open the basement door, and we get the fuck out of Dodge with Officer Orange. We get in the patrol car, and we fill Orange in on what happened. We look behind us and see a giant version of SpongeBob chasing after the patrol car. Time for the final boss fight. Yeah, that's right. There's a final boss fight in this game. We use our gun to make the demon eat lead. Once we deplete its health bar, the demon is down once and for all. Just kidding, he appears in front of us and kills us, ending the game. I don't think it comes to much of a surprise that I didn't really much care for this game. Now, it's not the worst thing on the planet. I was able to get through it, but goddamn was it an annoying struggle. The worst part of the game is definitely the maze, which the game puts you through twice. There is absolutely no sense of direction. It's so easy to get lost, and it is so easy to get cornered by the floating corpse. Did you know this character actually has a name? It's Baby Prunes. Why the hell did they go with Baby Prunes? She couldn't be farther from a baby. Why are there so many episodes of SpongeBob that treat adults like babies? I think part of the problem, and the SpongeBob part of this game has it too, is that you just hear the same audio clips over and over and over again. Baby Prunes just says, "I remember when they first invented chocolate." And SpongeBob either laughs or says, "No, no, 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 no," or "Mr. Krabs, do you know what I think?" That last line doesn't even make sense. Mr. Krabs isn't even here anymore. It just gets really old really fast. Thankfully, death doesn't dish out that much of a punishment, but it's still annoying. If death meant going back to the beginning of the game, I would just say this game is near unplayable. I also have to say that this game is kinda dull. The two main mechanics are the maze, which is frustrating as hell, and hiding under tables from SpongeBob while you try to navigate the room. Hiding under the table just results in a lot of waiting. There's so much goddamn waiting in SpongeBob Slaughterpants. It just gets really boring after a while, and there's nothing along the way to spice up the gameplay. Also, I know we're playing a SpongeBob horror game, and it's already a little ridiculous, but shooting SpongeBob at the end with a gun was really silly. I think all I'm really asking out of this game is a bit more of a fleshed out gameplay. The one thing about this game I did like, though, was the story presentation. I like the idea of having dialogue and cutscenes to help tell the story of the game. That actually is something I appreciated. I'm not a fan of using text-to-speech instead of voice actors, but that's a me problem as an amateur voice actor. Do I think I'm going to get haunted by this game? Probably not.
Damn it, SpongeBob isn't giving me any luck either. Alright, back to the drawing board. Divvying it up between two types of creepypastas doesn't seem to be working. Let's go back to the full video game hauntings. I feel like we were onto something with that. I got it. How do you get more video game than Mario?
The old game.file extension. Getting haunted by this game is gonna be a snap. The game opens up and the title screen is different from usual. Instead of a giant, horrifying, malleable Mario head, what the fuck is that thing? Instead, it just has 3D text that says Super Mario 64. Well, yeah, I guess. The game starts as almost normal. The intro cutscene doesn't play, but we do start outside of Peach's castle. We walk in and immediately, the dread sinks in. There is only one door in the foyer. With no other choice, we continue on. I look around the room to see if there are any toads to talk to. Nope. We are completely and utterly alone. Nothing in here but me and this giant Bob-omb battlefield painting. We jump in and get our objective. Get the star. As I continue on, I start to notice that the signs are pointed the other way, telling me to turn back. I'm not gonna let a plank of wood tell me what to do like I'm some sort of melon-headed boy in the cul-de-sac. Get out of my life! I continue all the way to the top of the mountain. On the way there were no enemies, no obstacles, hell, not even a King Bob-omb. This battlefield has less activity than Concord. We get the star and the ROM breaks, telling us that there was an error and something has changed. Well, shit. time to reset. We start the game again, go into the castle, go into the singular room, and does this room seem a bit bigger to you? Were there always only 2 bombs in this picture? I'm probably just being paranoid. I enter Bob-omb Battlefield, and everything seems basically identical, but I do happen to notice a patch of flowers with a bunch of signs pointing down. Don't really see anything else of note here, and ground pounding doesn't do anything, so let's just move on. I climb the mountain, get the star, and the ROM breaks again. I blow on the cartridge one more time and reset the game. I try to see if there is anything else around in a bit of trying to break the cycle, but there is no choice but to enter the castle, go in the same room, and okay, this room is definitely bigger now, and there was definitely more than one Bob-omb on that painting. What the hell is going on here? I jump through, and not only is it now nighttime in Bob-omb Battlefield, but now my objective is unclear. I just follow the status quo as per usual and start climbing the mountain. I do notice that not only are some assets missing in the stage, leaving it looking like a broken version of itself, but there are way more signs urging me to turn back around. I ain't no pussy though. I'm super fucking Mario. I get to the top of the mountain, get the star, and god damn it! Okay, we're back. Full reset. When we re-enter the game, there are definitely a lot of assets missing. The sky is gray and the water is gone. I explore around to see if there's anything at all different I can do, but nothing has changed there. We enter the castle, we enter the lone door. The painting, now empty, is at the end of the longest hallway we've encountered yet. We enter the painting. It's even darker than it was before in Bob-omb Battlefield, as we are given our sole objective: leave. I start my sole mission to climb the mountain, and on my way there, I hear the music that plays right before a race. From there, a timer starts. I try to get to the top of the mountain as quick as possible, but I just don't make it. I still get to the top of the mountain, but there is nothing waiting here for me. I start to descend the mountain to find anything else I could do. Maybe that flower patch has some answers, but as soon as I think that, I get caught and the ROM breaks again. This time, we don't get the message that something has changed. This time, we get exception on store. Welp, the procedure is more than likely the same, so I reset again. Oh, the title is gone. Well, let's just hop right into the game. Where's Mario? Everything is better off without you. That is where the game lies. No matter how many times you reset, and no matter how long you wait, this is where we are. An empty game with no protagonist, telling me what I tell myself every night. Maybe I should get a therapist. Honestly, as far as ROM hacks go, this is really, really impressive. The fact that the ROM breaking and needing a reset to essentially continue playing the game is incredible. That moment when I was telling the story where I wasn't sure if things were different and then the next pass realizing the painting in the room size was changing, that was real. That was my real reaction while playing this game. It caught me so off guard and I love it for that. Even though this hack only took about 15 minutes to get through, it was definitely one of the most intriguing Mario 64 ROM hacks I've ever played. Even though it's really short and really repetitive, it's really effective through aspects of atmosphere and how it relates to the player's gameplay experience. The smaller details like the signs pointing the opposite way, the room with the painting getting bigger while the painting itself loses bob-ombs, the fact that the ROM keeps breaking, it's all small details that aren't inherently scary on their own, but mash them together and it creates a more unsettling experience than any scream or jump scare could. I like this one.
This one so far feels like the game that a creepypasta would describe. I will definitely get haunted by this one. Mario is definitely seeming like a good source for haunted games, so let's keep going, let's keep going.
Moving away from the ROM hacks, let's go on over to a Mario horror fan game to cover our bases for our haunting ventures. Mario the Music Box is an RPG horror game. Not really what you would expect for a Mario fan game, but you can't dock points for being original. So I'm not going to do what I've been doing and give you a little step-by-step of my experience playing this game. I'm just going to summarize the story mostly for the sake of time, because goddamn, this game is long. Right outside the Mushroom Kingdom, there is a mansion that has come with its own set of rumors. Those who enter never return. Princess Peach wanted to look into this mansion with Mario and Luigi, but Mario decided to go inside alone to find the missing people. Mario enters the mansion and does some exploring. He finds a music box playing by itself and decides to take it with him. Little would he know that this action would seal his fate. After the lights go out all of a sudden, Mario picks up a nearby lantern and goes to leave and get some tools to fix the lights. When Mario goes to leave though, he finds that the door that he just came through is now missing. Without many other options, Mario continues exploring the mansion to try and find some way out. Through looking, Mario encounters some spooky shit, seeing specters as he walks around. Mario's first meaningful interaction with one of these specters is with a little girl named Aria. As we play her piano, she tells us that she doesn't remember how she died. She just remembers playing the piano, and then she was dead. Mario, being the hero he is, wants to help her with her unfinished business. She asks him to bring her incomplete music sheets so she can finish them and pass on. Mario obliges and goes on the hunt. In our travels, Mario comes across this bookcase with some scraps of paper on it. The note seems to be from a woman. She's ecstatic about marrying the man that she loves. Then, sometime later, she falls ill, and then the last page implies that she did something horrible to her family. Also included is a photo of the bride, the woman who wrote the notes. Mario takes note of it and hears something unlock in the distance. Mario enters the once locked door and finds the incomplete music sheets. After a spooky encounter with a girl with scissors, Mario just barely escapes with his life and brings Aria the music sheets. When Mario gives it to her, she leaves a key to the kitchen. Going in there, there's a letter that tells more of the story from before. It seems the woman has sacrificed her family in order to gain immortality. Going back into the storage room, we find out what exactly happened to Aria. Reading this note on this chest, it shows that the bride that killed her family ended up caving in her skull inside of the piano. Gruesome. She hid something within this chest that would make Aria remember how she died. There's nothing else to do around here, so I guess that's our quest now. Going all around the house to find the number combination, we open the chest and find some scissors. Maybe Scissors Girl and Aria are connected? Either way, we take the scissors and use it to cut down these spider webs to get into the library. The library is where we realize what the bride truly tried to do. There's a book detailing how to do an immortality ritual. Step 1, sacrifice your blood kin. Step 2, light 7 red candles. Step 3, draw the 7 life runes. Step 4, make sure the body is recently deceased. Step 5, the ritual was successful if the body transforms into your previous form. If the ritual is interrupted, it will result in an incomplete immortality. There's also a diary, a man telling of his 2 daughters, Serena and Anna. Serena was born to be sacrificed for Alice's immortality, but our author was against the idea. Their marriage became strained from the moment Alice found out about the ritual. One day, the author found that the 2 girls were gone. Alice feigned ignorance, but what she didn't account for was that Anna came back and told him everything. The more we read, the clearer the picture becomes. An article is here detailing the missing people that came to this mansion. What brought on the investigation was the initial family seemingly disappearing, and anyone who tried to investigate the disappearances disappeared themselves. Mario notes that this paper is recent, which means someone may still be in here investigating. The bookshelf to the left details a bunch of notes about the paranormal. Spirits are unable to take physical form, but are still very dangerous and can even possess people, way more deadly than booze. The third bookcase doesn't have that much of note other than explaining how curses work. If a spirit exudes enough negative energy, they can enact a curse on an area. If an area is cursed, those who enter are unable to leave unless they lift the curse or the ghost lets you leave. The fourth bookcase holds yet another note from Alice. It shows Alice being happy about finding out about the ritual, excited that she can live with her husband forever despite her illness. The final note we read here is one from an Isaac Autoris, Alice's father. The note is warning about the man she is about to marry. He seems to be more dangerous than he lets on. Up above is a chest that we have to input a code into. Doing so reveals the items inside. Scraps of paper with Latin on them, a key, and a picture of Mario. Now that's very peculiar. We take the key and enter the master bedroom, where we get the final of 3 notes we've been collecting, in order to get a safe combination. It also happens to spell out the word hopeless. Real encouraging. Inside the kitchen safe is yet another key. Just going from key to key to key to key right now. We enter the side room using the golden key and we find a book. The final fragment of the note from Alice. She starts lamenting about the loss of Serena and shows pride for her murder of Anna. Mario then starts hearing the voices of the family. Specifically, he gets a vision of Serena, Anna, and the still unnamed husband saying they love her. Mario then responds in a different voice, that he loves them back. Uh-oh. Now the cogs are turning. Once Mario grabbed the music box, his fate was sealed. Alice is possessing Mario. At this point in the story, Alice has taken full control of Mario's body. As soon as we get this revelation, we cut away to see that Luigi has now arrived at the mansion. Man, this new Luigi's Mansion game looks weird. Luigi explores the mansion looking for Mario and follows the sounds of his voice. Luigi then finds a painting of Mario without a face. As soon as Luigi has time to be confused by it, the faceless Mario crawls out of the painting and starts chasing Luigi. Locking himself in the room right behind the imposter, Luigi walks in to find a grave site. Right in front of him, Luigi sees that Mario has hung himself. Luigi's world shatters before his very eyes. He takes Mario down and lies him on a bed to rest. Luigi is in shock and disbelief. Luigi continues to explore, in denial of Mario's fate. In the next room, we see yet another corpse of Mario. In the next room, there's a Mario standing on the other side of a gap. There's dead Marios everywhere. Get your dead Mario. Get your dead Marios here. I'd like a dead Mario. Here you go. Thank you. Luigi reads a note. It seems like Alice's murderous rampage didn't stop with her immediate family. She ended up showing no mercy even to her sister's kids. Further into the room, Luigi finds a blacklight. That's right, baby, we're solving blacklight puzzles. We use the blacklight to find the code to this box and find another key? No, a dead kid! All of a sudden, Luigi starts getting a vision of the kid's death. Nothing too much new here, just the kid begging to be left alone as Alice presumably kills them. Luigi finds half of a dispel charm with the body. This is not enough to get past the curse on one of the stairwells, but it's a start. After a few minutes of searching, we finally find the other half of the Dispel Charm piece in a small box back in the room where we laid Mario's body. Said body having mysteriously disappeared. After we use the Dispel Charm to go up the staircase, we reach a bookcase revealing the identity of the corpse. Leo, one of Alice's nephews. Luigi walks outside and sees someone else walk ahead. He wonders who it could be before getting distracted by another Mario threatening to jump off the balcony. This Mario starts speaking in what we can assume is actually Alice's voice, saying that she devoted everything to him because she loved him so much. She gives Luigi some advice, to just turn around and leave and not devote so much of himself to another person unless he's prepared to die. This makes Luigi more bound and determined to find his brother at all costs, even if it costs him his life. This may sound all heroic on the surface, but we can really see Luigi's inferiority complex start to show here, saying that more people would care if Mario died than if he did. Luigi continues on and continues to get visions of Mario dying. He takes it as the house trying to tell him something. Personally, I think it's a combination of the spirits showing Luigi how they perished and the curse trying to break Luigi by making it look like it's Mario, the one he cares about the most. Going over to this book, we get more lore. It tells of the family maid, Rosa, who swore on her honor as a maid to keep Alice's secret that she killed her entire family. The guilt burdened her mind so much she ended up taking her own life to make it stop. This is the hanged person Luigi saw. More puzzle solving! After using my giant fucking wrinkled brain to solve this puzzle, we open the chest and find a photo of a beautiful maid. This photo is of Rosa when she was still alive. On the back of the photo, there is a thank you to a man named Alfred. Who's Alfred? I mean, since there's an angry spirit in the next room, it's probably this guy. Luigi gives him the photo and the ghost becomes thankful. Alfred loved Rosa in life and loves serving the family, but Alice even murdered the staff to keep the secret. There is no end to Alice's bloodshed. He gives Luigi his umpteenth warning to try to escape the mansion, but Luigi refuses. Alfred leaves him a key. When Luigi leaves the room, he meets a new character who actually isn't a ghost. This is Reba. He is investigating the house as well. Luigi tells him that he is looking for his brother, but Reba doesn't really seem to give two shits and goes on with his own investigation alone. After a bit more puzzle solving, we open the way to a secret staircase that leads into the basement. Going down has Luigi face yet another faceless Mario, except this one gets his own little funny face. Chase sequence! After he arrives in what I think is sort of a wine cellar, Luigi finds yet another Mario corpse. This one worse than the last. This Mario has been completely disemboweled. Luigi mourns for his brother once again and screams for him. That is where we leave Luigi for now and go on over to our third playable character, Reba, the dude we met not too long ago. We are shown pretty quickly that Reba actually has a voice in his head, a regular old Jiminy Cricket. When Reba sees another person, that voice urges him to help. Reba follows the voice and finds Mario, the real Mario who is currently having a panic attack, fighting for his sanity not to lose himself to Alice. This is where Reba's gameplay mechanic is introduced, the quick decision system. You have a certain amount of time to choose your next action in the moment, and it could either lead to the solution or death. There is something interesting that happens when you get death though. Reba just time warps back to before he died. Very interesting. Reba successfully calms Mario down and Mario ends up passing out from exhaustion. Reba lays him on the bed and goes off while he waits for Mario to wake up. Nearby, Reba finds the book on how to achieve immortality again. Now that way more things have happened, we really start to see this book in a new context. After reading it, the voice that Reba has been hearing in his head finally makes their appearance. A white cat with heterochromia named Layla. Layla reveals that they are a sort of a guardian angel of sorts and tells Reba of his ultimate fate. He will die tonight. We now shift back to Mario, going through a dream. This dream has him confront Alice, who tells Mario that she is trying to take over his body so that she can leave the house and spread her curse. Mario then finds himself in a lone hallway. At the end of the hallway, a little girl, one of Alice's daughters. She tells Mario that he should have been their savior, but now that he's cursed, the only way to prevent Alice's escape is for him to die. Right after he dies in the dream, he wakes up. Mario and Reba properly get acquainted with each other, and Reba decides to continue his investigation when Mario doesn't give him the info he needs. Mario catches up with Reba and finds him contemplating how to cross this cliffside. Reba remembers seeing a plank on the first floor and goes to go retrieve it. Mario goes to follow him, but Reba, being his edgy isolationist self, convinces Mario to stay put so he stays safe. In reality, he's probably keeping him away because he knows Mario may be susceptible to getting possessed. After a bit of convincing, Reba goes to retrieve the plank. On his way to find it, he encounters Layla again. She talks about helping him fulfill his purpose. He doesn't really know what she's talking about, but Layla seems to find him very interesting. Something tells me Layla may be a bit like the black cat from the witch's house. If you didn't see my video on that game, I highly recommend it. I go over the game itself as well as the manga and the novel. Anyway, no more self-promotion. Reba picks up the plank and goes to leave, but gets attacked by a woman who came out of a painting. What is this, Ebe? Yeah, I made a video about that game too! He kicks her and escapes and immediately goes back to see if Mario's okay. Before he can even leave the hallway, Mario blocks his way. Reba tries to interact with Mario, but those green eyes tell us that this isn't Mario anymore. Alice has taken control of Mario's body once again and is threatening Reba. Judging by the way she's talking to him, there seems to be some history here. Alice chases Reba into the next room where Reba hides and then chokes Mario out until Alice leaves. When Alice finally lets go, Layla appears again, taunting Reba about hurting his new friend. Layla asks why Reba is protecting Mario so much, and Reba says it's because Mario seems familiar. Layla seems to hint that maybe Reba knew Mario's previous life? Weird, Reba doesn't seem that old. How would he know Mario's previous life? Before we have time to think about it, Mario appears back in his dream world. When Mario talks to Alice, she tells him that she is slowly taking full control of his body. Mario appears back in the hallway, except now one of the 4 closed doors is open. Going through the door shows us a glimpse into the past. It shows Alice's daughters, Anna and Selena, playing outside. Selena, the younger sister, ends up getting hurt and crying, and Alice completely blames Anna. It becomes very clear that Alice favors Selena way more than Anna, to the point of calling Anna a waste of life. Just as Anna starts to go through a crisis, Mario wakes up to Reba. Mario starts to have a panic attack again, but Reba quickly calms him down. When Mario asks him what happened while he was blacked out, Reba decides to lie to Mario and not tell him about his threats or his possession by Alice. Reba tells Mario about Luigi being in the mansion, and at first Mario goes to go look for him, but then a bad feeling tells him not to go. Mario and Reba go back to the cliffs to cross using the plank Reba found, and on the other side, Reba asks Mario if they've ever met before. Mario doesn't remember meeting Reba, and from there, they move on. Mario ends up collapsing from hunger as Reba goes to find something for Mario to eat around the woods. Jesus Christ, Mario, am I your fucking mom? I have to regulate your emotions, I have to feed you, do you want a drink from my teat next? Jesus! Moving on ahead, we see Alice standing in the woods. Talking to her reveals something huge. Reba asks Alice why she's doing all this, trapping them in the house and trying to take over Mario's body. She says it's because she wanted them to be together forever, like they originally wanted. That's right, Reba was Alice's husband. Now the fact that he can't die, even if you fail his QuickTime decisions, makes complete sense now. He is immortal. Alice calls Reba a monster, saying that the deaths of their daughters were his fault, and it's his fault that she turned out the way she did. Reba denies it all as he continues to go find food for Mario. Reba finds an odd red mushroom and brings it right back to Mario. This odd red mushroom looking very Power Shroom-esque. Reba feeds it to Mario, he gets up, and it's time to let's go! As Mario and Reba cross the bridge, Reba gets called by Alice. Mario unknowingly keeps going. Alice tries to convince Reba to join her side. If she successfully takes control of Mario, her curse will no longer affect the mansion and they can both leave. Reba considers his options. Meanwhile, Mario walks ahead and sees the spirit of a little girl with black hair who makes Mario feel cold. She leaves a letter behind. Reading the letter, we get to see the circumstances behind Alice's daughter Anna and why she was hated so much. Anna Adarace was the elder sibling of Selena. Reba, her father, loved her with all of his heart, but Alice didn't feel the same. The reason for this is because Anna was adopted into the family. She is not the biological daughter of Alice and Reba. After reading that, Mario sees quite the sight. He realizes he is at the grave of Anna and Selena. Mario starts putting the pieces together that Reba is not what he seems. When Mario goes to question Reba, he knocks Mario unconscious. Looks like Reba took Alice's offer. Oh hey, is that Kirby I see? Because we're back in Dreamland! Mario begs Alice to stop what she's doing and she tells him that her possession of him is almost complete. We go back to the hallway and enter the second door. Here we get a vision of Alice killing Alfred in the name of love for Reba. Mario starts screaming internally that he just wants to go home. Now we go back to Luigi. Luigi talks to what looks like the ghost of Anna, who tells Luigi that Mario is in danger if he keeps traveling with Reba. When Luigi leaves the room, he catches Reba carrying Mario, muttering something about finding the rune book, indicating that he's about to start preparing for the immortality ritual. Luigi, knowing something is up, confronts Reba. Reba tries to lie to him but puts Mario down and goes off on his own to continue what he's doing later, when Luigi isn't on his tail. Luigi gives chase. Mario wakes up wondering what's been going on. He explores his surroundings and finds himself in a room where he picks up a medallion half sitting right in front of a painting of Princess Peach. He looks at the painting wondering why it's here when all of a sudden it changes to another person. He looks behind him to see a faceless Peach chasing after him with a syringe. Finding a nearby bottle and matchbox, Mario stuns the apparition and burns her alive. Right before the spirit dies, we learn that this was the spirit of Alice's sister. She repeats the same thing about Mario being fated to die here because of his curiosity, but Mario is bound and determined to fight his way out of this mansion. When he leaves the room, he finally reunites with his beloved brother, Luigi. The Super Mario Bros. Bond stronger than ever, they hug it out and work together to try and leave the mansion. It seems though that unfortunately, Alice is still trying to break through. Heading downstairs, Mario and Luigi decide to go see if the front door that Luigi came through is still there, or if it disappeared like it did for Mario. Except, we're not gonna do that. Not yet. I'll explain why later. For now, we keep exploring the house and we find a collection of arrows on the wall to note for later. Going back to the piano room, we look through the fireplace and find a forest gate key. As Mario exits the fireplace, something grabs him and starts dragging him in. Mario calls out to Luigi for help, but judging by Luigi's eye color, he seems to have been possessed by Alice's sister, the one who was disguising herself as Peach before. After kicking his legs and getting out of there, Luigi snaps out of his possession and Mario coughs up the second half of the medallion. The brothers look around to see where they could put this regurgitated coin. Following the spirit into this room, we read a note that tells us the identity of this woman. Alice's sister's name is Mercy, the mother of Ray and Leo. Walking through this hallway, Mario and Luigi meet with Layla, Reba's guardian angel. She takes on more of a human form this time and tells Mario that if he wants to escape the mansion, he needs to get rid of his problem. She elaborates no further and disappears. Mario and Luigi keep exploring, finding a safe behind a painting of Alice. Mario opens the safe and finds a dispel charm and, more importantly, a family photo. This photo shows what the entire family looked like while they were alive and further confirms to Mario and Luigi who Reba truly is. Mario leaves and boom, Dreamland! These are getting more seamless as they come, okay. Going into the now open third door, we get another flashback. A woman named Marie finds Anna covered in blood. We learn that a spirit disguising herself as an imaginary friend named Beatrice told Anna to kill her sister Serena. When Marie told Alice, Alice went mad. This is where we learn that Anna's mother was Reba's first wife. Alice killed her because she stole Reba away from her and only took Anna in so Reba wouldn't suspect anything. In this moment though, Alice stabs Anna to death and hides the body. Mario comes to and continues exploring with Luigi. They find that the dispel charm works on this object in this room. Earlier we tried to get this object and it kept hopping around. The charm burns and it ends up being a note from what seems to be Isaac.EYX, Alice's father. Isaac writes, urging his daughter Alice not to marry Reba. He states that Reba is a literal demon, one from their troubled past. He doesn't know what this demon wants, but he does know one thing. He doesn't trust Reba. Also inside the note was a water charm that Mario and Luigi used to cross the gross-looking lake behind the house. From here, Mario and Luigi enter the Forest of Despair. That's where those arrows come in, baby. We lost woods in this shit. Following the right path leads to this cave where it seems like the spirits of children are working. Mario and Luigi explore this treacherous cave, avoiding leeches, falling rocks, and lava pits. At one point, they flip a switch, and whatever moved also started to make the cave collapse. Mario and Luigi narrowly escape getting crushed to death. Luigi starts to snap at Mario for coming to this stupid mansion in the first place, but he immediately apologizes to Mario, saying that he's just scared. Mario seems to run away in sadness as Luigi gives chase to see if Mario is okay. When Luigi catches up to him, as you've probably already predicted, Alice has taken control once again and threatens to kill Luigi. Luigi fights back, and before Alice can deal the final blow, Reba suddenly appears and knocks Mario out so that they can follow the ritual, blinded by his ambitions to finally leave the mansion. Taking one last trip to Sleepy Time Junction, Mario walks back up to Alice. She gives him one last chance to surrender, but Mario refuses, forcing Alice to take his body by force. We then get the final flashback. Reba goes into his daughter's bedrooms looking for his missing children. Underneath the bed, he finds Anna's bloodied dress. Just as Reba wonders what is going on, Anna's spirit appears before him. She tells him that she was killed by Alice. Mario comes to and realizes that Reba has tied him up, and Reba gives Mario a proposition. Let Alice take over his body so that both Alice and Reba can escape the mansion, and in return, Reba would ensure that Luigi would be safe from Alice. Going back to Luigi, we see him crying and panicking about his situation. Layla appears before him and tells him that if he doesn't go and do something, Mario is going to be lost forever. This puts a fire underneath Luigi's ass and he sets off. Luigi marches on, finding the music box that started it all and Mario's hat. Luigi then walks in on Reba starting the immortality ritual that will solidify Alice's control over Mario's body. Luigi interrupts the ritual, but before Reba can retaliate, he gets impaled by a tendril. Turns out Alice has now taken full control over Mario's body and is now all-powerful, taking the new name of Malice. Alright, that's actually really clever. Luigi goes into Mario's mind somehow to try and save Mario from Malice, when Malice tells him everything. Reba is an immortal demon that Alice was in love with. Alice wanted to stay with Reba for eternity by becoming immortal by sacrificing Selena for the immortality ritual. Unfortunately, Anna ended up getting to Selena first and becoming half immortal herself. Alice used the murders to lure people in to try and take their bodies, but they were all killed by Anna's hands before Alice could get to them. Mario and Luigi were the only ones to survive Anna's attempts. Now Luigi is bound and determined to stop the ritual and get Mario back. After an actually difficult final boss fight, we finally stop the ritual. Luigi, as per Anna's instructions, uses the music box to trap Alice's spirit once again. Right before she's sealed away forever, she does one last act of revenge and throws Mario's body off of a chasm. Mario comes to just as Luigi tries to grab for him, but he wasn't fast enough. Mario screams quite the scream as he falls down the chasm before a sickening thud ends Mario for good. Luigi, reluctantly wanting to leave, finds his way out of the cave, but not before being visited by Mario's spirit. Mario begs him not to leave him there. He doesn't want to be cold and alone. Luigi vows to find some way to bring him back, and that he will return for him. Luigi leaves the cave and ran as fast as he could back to the Mushroom Kingdom. When he finally made it back, he collapsed in the middle of Toad Town. After some emergency care, Luigi tells Peach about what happened, even telling her of Mario's fate. Sometime later, Luigi returns to where Mario fell and faces Mario's body directly. Just like he promised, Luigi came back for him. The game ends with Luigi crying over Mario's death. This ending being called Sealed. This is where I left Mario the Music Box. Wow, that was Holy shit. Honestly, this was one of the best RPG horror games I've ever played, and after I finished it, I was mad. Not mad because of anything with the game, but mad at myself. 8 years ago, Pete and I decided to play this game as a part of our annual horror months that we used to do, and after just a few episodes, we decided to stop playing it. Now I'm mad because I missed out on what probably would have been one of my favorite RPG horror games ever. The story of this game is incredible. I love how deep the lore goes with this family. Learning about Reba, Alice, and the fate of their family and those around them was easily the best part of this experience. Not only that, but the art. My god, the art in this game is incredible. How many RPG horror indie titles can you say has a fully animated anime opening? This one does. Also, those death scenes. My god, the death scenes in this game. I skipped over a lot of the deaths in this game to give you a short version of the story. Yes, that was the short version. But the art that is presented for all of the various ways Mario and Luigi can die are really visceral and disturbing. This game does wear its inspirations on its sleeve. This game is definitely inspired by The Witch's House. That is evident by the absolutely incredible amount of ways the characters can die, as well as the cat character of Layla. They used those inspirations beautifully and truly crafted such great lore. Hell, I even love the gameplay. Correct me if I'm wrong, which I often am, but I really like the original bit of gameplay this game does employ. The quick-time decision system. I think this was really cool, and the way it was introduced was genius. First, it is introduced while you are playing as Reba, where even if you fail, you can't die. Later in the game, you use the same gameplay mechanic as Mario and Luigi, and in those situations, you can die. Not only is this a good way to introduce difficulty progression in this mechanic, but also it's really interesting as a storytelling mechanic because it establishes early on that there is something about Reba that is strange. Unfortunately, as you could probably tell, I definitely did not get the best ending I could, but I got what was essentially the second best ending, so that's why I decided to call it a day. If you want to see the best ending, play the game for yourself. You won't regret it. The only question I have to ask of this game is something that plagued my thoughts as I was playing this game. Why Mario? Honestly, everything that has to do with Mario and his universe could be changed to literally anything. You could replace Mario and Luigi with any two original characters who are close brothers. You could replace all of the entries by EGAD's assistant with any other character. The princess could be replaced with someone else, and it would not affect the story in the slightest. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing with the game, it's just a little interesting to take note of. Team Ari, if you guys are listening to this, I would love to know why Mario, genuinely. Now, before I leave this game off, I want to point out that Sealed was the second ending I got. Remember when I said we'd come back to Mario and Luigi leaving out the front door? Here it is, bitches! So that led to an ending called Missing, where Mario, taken over by Alice, kills Luigi and escapes the house. What's interesting about this ending is that this leads into what is called Mario the Music Box Arc, an expansion to the story that goes way more into Reba's history and even what Layla is all about. If you want me to cover this game for next time, please let me know in the comments below.
Hey, wait a minute, I'm trying to get haunted here. This game isn't going to haunt me, it's just a legitimately amazing horror game. What a ripoff! Well, let's go back to the ROM hacking scene. Maybe I can get haunted there. Quick, before I play another unhaunted experience.
This one is going to be significantly quicker than Mario the Music Box, trust me. Hell, that one is definitely going to be the longest game we cover today. So when it comes to B3313, the reason I chose this game was because of the insane amount of attention this game was getting. Getting lost in B3313 is terrifying. B3313, Mario 64's most confusing and distorted hack. B3313, the personalized Super Mario 64 ROM hack. Not to mention all of these horror-themed Mario 64 thumbnails to go along with it. I thought, prime time to be haunted by a video game, right? So I played the game. I played the game for a few hours, and I have but one thing to say about this game. This game didn't spook me at all. In fact, I found it really fun. So for those of you who are uninformed, B3313 is a hack of Super Mario 64 where the layout of the castle is dependent on how you play the game. It is a game meant to disorient and confuse you so that you may get lost in this near-endless maze. Hidden within these castle walls are familiar levels, entirely new levels, and familiar levels met with a twinge of unfamiliarity. I had quite a lot of fun playing the new levels, exploring the castle and trying to find my way around, and finding all of the secrets I could. I genuinely had a ton of fun, so much so that I forgot to be scared. Now, I can admit that this ROM hack is a bit unsettling. Not in the way the environment is, not in the way the story is told, no. This game is unsettling because it feels like the liminal spaces of Super Mario 64. It gives you this feeling of intimidating emptiness, and honestly, it's really cool how the game can phase that before even showing you anything creepy. Hell, I didn't even really find any creepy imagery at all, except for one thing. At some point, I found a hallway that Princess Peach was walking down. When I followed her down, it was revealed that this Princess Peach did not have a face, and she just floated up. I tried to follow her up, but I'm just not good enough at the game to get up there and decided to do something else. I highly recommend this game, but it definitely is not a super scary kind of game.
What the actual hell? What does a guy gotta do to get haunted by a video game character around here? You know what? I'm going back to the video game creepypasta that started it all. The one that is proven within its own story to haunt the player after he was done playing it. That's right, we're moving on to some Sonic.exe shit. Sound the horns!
Oh yes, now this is what I'm talking about when it comes to becoming a creepypasta protagonist. As soon as I click on the game, boom, text on my desktop. Hello there, Tom. That's not my name. It's been a while, hasn't it? I don't know you. There is no coming back now. He will come for you eventually. I'm not jerking him off. Thank you for joining our family. Our big, happy family. Yeah, I'm something of a family guy myself. The game decides to show up and we see Sonic running through a black void with some text appearing every so often. They lied to you. Your whole life has been a lie. Failure. Hey look, all the things I've told myself after being done with the American education system. We then cut to a picture of a random house that I'm pretty sure I see in every thumbnail for those videos of that Doom mod. We then get visions of a boy tied up on a chair bloody, a baby, then we become the baby, and then Sonic appears and makes indents in his uni-eye and makes us smile? The fuck was that even about? Back to the void, Sonic runs forward for a bit and sees a goalpost, so close to the end of the stage. Before Sonic goes through it, he decides that he's very sleepy and goes to bed, but then gets killed by black tentacles. Isn't that how gaming always goes? Womp womp. The demon then appears before us and says, "You wanted to pay me a visit, Tom?" That's not my name. We then get our typical Sonic 3 file select screen with the iconic 3 victims: Tails, Knuckles, and Eggman. We start out by putting a heart inside of Tails and then choosing him. We start out like 90% of modern Sonic games do, in Green Hill Zone. Tails starts running through when all of a sudden, we see a bloody-eyed Sonic appear. Now everything is progressively getting darker, with a spotlight only showing Tails. Walk forward enough and Tails sees what looks like Sonic's corpse, but it's actually a trap. This is the demon Sonic, growing beyond what his bones should allow. The demon gives us a message. You want the truth? Let me show it to you. Now we appear in a burning forest. I try to make our way through the level, but I'm bad, so I actually game over. Wait, I'm sorry, I game over. Then we see a message say, I get to say when we're done, and the lives don't matter. Anyway, I cheese the level by flying through most of it and finally make it to the next thing. Tails gets the inclination to run as he gets chased by this spindly looking freak show. Tails gets fucking pranked though because he runs right into a barbed wire fence. A message box appears. Brother, why did you lie to me? Tom, that's not my name. We're stuck. Please help us, Tom. That's not my name. We then get booted back to the File Select menu. Without many other options, we choose Knuckles. It's not as simple as click on it, however. We must burn it down, force it to make us play as Knuckles. Really just burn it all down. Commit arson! Going into Knuckles' level, we see him right next to a broken down car. It's safe to say that he was probably in a car accident. After a bit of walking, we see that Knuckles is being chased by a giant floating Sonic head. Hate when that happens. We keep trying to attack the demon, but each time we do, our surroundings get more and more distorted and fucked up and bloody. Eventually, Knuckles gets grabbed by the demon and his throat gets slit and his heart gets torn out. This seems to be hinting at this event being a parallel to someone's murder, as we see a vision of a dead human body as Sonic kills Knuckles. Last up is Eggman. Oops, I stabbed you. We go to the checkerboard world where Eggman starts running his little egg feet off while Sonic watches him like he's Foxy in FNAF World. Eggman falls as we cut to a picture of a dude who seems to have taken quite the spill. You should have known that this moment would have come. That Eggman would die? I mean, considering this is just an adaptation of Sonic.exe, yeah, I did know. Eggman keeps running, and just as we see whatever this grayscale thing is over in the background, Sonic appears and kills him. We see a bloody hand, and then Sonic once again. I know deep down, you still miss me. Didn't you want this? Don't you want to see me? I own you now, Tom. That's not my name. You cannot escape. The game then closes and then opens up my web browser and shows a picture of a newspaper article. It states that the Carter family were inexplicably massacred, with the only survivor being a person named Kyle Carter. Just a few days before, Kyle was found dismembered by his best friend and work colleague, Tom Lewis. If you are a Sonic.exe expert, you could recall that in the original Sonic.exe story, the main character's name is Tom, and the character that sent the game to him was Kyle. Way to work in the original lore. My name is still not Tom. Not only did the game open up my web browser, it also opened up Notepad and gave me a message. Once you hear a sound out of nowhere in Green Hill, like the air timer, go back. Help us, Tom. It's not my name. I open the game again, run in Green Hill Zone until I hear the air timer sound, and then turn back. I'm good at following directions. The game gets mad at us and asks us where we're going. Tails appears in a gray, foggy void. As we run through the void, Sonic keeps running back and forth around us before confronting us and pimp-smacking us into place. This is where we get the message, there is no good ending. The game then continues as normal, but I say let's keep going to see if there's anything else. When we're playing as Knuckles, instead of being confronted by the Sonic demon's floating head like normal, we actually make it to the end of the path, leading us to a house. Walking through the house shows that the house is then lit ablaze. All we can do from here is watch as Knuckles dies from smoke inhalation in the fire. The Sonic demon laughs at us as it forces us to play as Eggman now. Things go as normal until we finish the game. The screen goes black and we see the demon Sonic. He jump scares us as he tells us that he is the devil. Then we get one final note. I should totally burn this thing. This is not a prank. No one could have done this except him. I have to free them. Oh wait. Kyle? What are you doing in... That's it. That's the whole game. Right off the bat, I can say this was a good horror experience. I'm always a sucker for the fourth wall breaking aspects of these games. I like how the game puts text over your desktop, opens up pictures on your web browser, and generates notepad messages that tell you how to get to the end of the game. That's why I loved playing those EXE games last year, was for stuff like that. Plus, seems like I'm more likely to be on it. Where my criticisms of this game lie is that I don't think it was enough. The story feels like it ends just as it's really getting started. I would suggest maybe creating more ARG elements that make you play the game slightly differently in order to unlock more story. Doing more of that would make it feel like the game has more of a full story. I think back to something like Deprived Hedgehog 1994, which used hints, passwords, YouTube videos, and even printed pictures to tell the full story of this demon and the fate of those it affected. It felt like a full experience, whereas this feels like just the beginning. This is on the right track. I can't wait to see what this developer has cooking next.
Let's keep racking up those spirits, rack up those spirits, get those demons, next!
Let's open that shit up. We start the game on a normal Sonic title screen, which leads us to playing through Green Hill Zone. Wow, this game is looking kinda rough. The aesthetic of this game makes me think that this is what a DOS version of Sonic 1 would look like. After a bit of running, the background gets dark and distorted. We then get a nice view of Demon Sonic. The demon distorts into a cloud of glitches and surrounds Sonic, breaking the game. What's with all these haunted games breaking? Don't these demons playtest their games? The game reboots and it goes back to the title screen as normal. Yep, normal. Now we get to play as Tails in the Green Hill Zone. We run through Jank Hill some more until we meet up with Sonic, who does a little trick for us to show off his flexibility. Bro, go get some moisturizer. We then go to my favorite classic Sonic stage, Hide and Seek, and run through the burning Angel Island zone. I start to run and am told to hide. I attempt to hide behind this bush, but the demon catches Tails and kills him. We are then given a new notepad message telling us that we are too slow. Believe it or not, this is not progression through the game, because when I open the game back up, it starts over. Yes, I have to go through the whole intro again to try this part of the game again. Every time I lose, I get the same notepad message over and over and over again. After many attempts at this, I finally learned that I'm really stupid, and I just have to crouch behind this bush and it will restart the hiding timer. Even after knowing that, it's still super difficult to get through the stage because the game gives you just barely enough time to make it to the end after the final hiding spot. I'm not kidding, this took up about 90% of my total playtime for this game. After finally making it to the big ring, we get transported to what looks like a destroyed, dull version of the Hidden Palace Zone. I walk forward as Tails for a few seconds, and then I hit something that transports me to a split-second game over screen and a new notepad file showing me ashy art of the Demon Sonic. I actually thought this is where the game ended, but in fact, looking back at the footage, I saw that I stepped on a tiny, little, itty-bitty fucking spike. So I wondered, is there actually more? I went back into the game, and to my surprise, yes, there was. I jumped over all of the spikes to see what lied beyond, and we actually get transported to a stage where you play as Knuckles. You run through the scrap brain zone, seeing visions of the Sonic slowly becoming a demon. After a bit, the demon makes his full appearance and a boss battle happens. And by a boss battle happens, I mean the demon lunges at you before you have a chance to react, closes the game, forces you to start over if you want to try again, and gives you a message calling you a pathetic loser. You know what? I think I'm done. By the looks of it, from what I've looked up online video-wise, I am the YouTuber that got the farthest in this game. So that makes me a gaming god now, right? Wait, I'm trying to become a Creepypasta Protagonist. Fuck. Yeah, unfortunately, this game is just too frustrating to make it through. I tried. I really tried. The fact that every time you die, you have to start all the way back at the beginning of the game is way too punishing for a game as jank as this. I hate to be super negative on games like this since they're usually made by like one or a handful of people. So I know that game creation on that level is difficult, but I do have to say that this game is jank. To give the best example, when you jump, you can't just press jump and right at the same time to jump over these spikes. You need to jump up and then hit right to move to the right. That's literally Action 52 levels of jank. It's not all negative though. The demonic Sonic art in this game is actually really stellar. Just brush up on your game mechanics and physics, input a little bit of a save feature, and then you'll make a fine Sonic.exe game in the future if you so choose.
Probably not gonna get haunted by this one considering I didn't even finish it, but maybe next time. I got so many requests to do this after my last Sonic.exe video. Hell, I remember this game blew up so much that even Markiplier played it. Some people in the community have said that this game and Sonic PC Port Remake are the reasons for the EXE resurgence. Let's see if it's as good as everyone says.
We open the game and get the choice of English or Portuguese.
I don't know!
If you look closely, you can see Sonic staring at me with his creepy eye. How does it work? After realizing I have to click the game window, the game starts. The normal Sonic title screen starts. Yup, totally normal. So normal. Oh, and the game window changed its name to Game C. You see, that's creepy because that's the computer's name. That would be way more effective if my PC's name was the same as mine. Quit right now before it's too late. I just started, fuck you. God, I'm getting angry at these demons now. This is not a normal ROM hack. Can't believe this game just pulled the I'm not like other girls move. After more text lines begging us to delete the game this and turn around that and stop playing me this and blah blah yada yada etc, I don't care who, let's go. We get to truly see our demon open his eye. Ew. Back in Green Hill Zone again! I gotta say though, I'm impressed. Am I playing Sonic Origins right now? Because this game literally feels like an actual Sonic game. I gotta give the developers of this game credit for recreating the Sonic physics and control scheme perfectly. From playing a lot of Sonic fan games, that is actually deceptively hard to do. Anyway, after a few static glitches, Tails makes it over to Sonic, who looks a tad strange.
And I love bread.
When he turns around, he looks all normal and runs back to the left. I guess we'll just follow? I spend way too much time trying to get over this wall, and as I finally cross it, we see a dead-looking Tails warning us not to go back. Game, you want me to play you or not? We do not heed any warnings, and then the Demon Sonic pops up and tells us to meet him at the beginning. He seems like a trustworthy guy. He's actively encouraging me to play his game, so I'm gonna keep going. We very soon meet the titular demon, and everything around us glitches. Hell, even the window laughs at us. The demon lunges forward, the game crashes, and then reboots. When are the day one patches going to be rolled out for these demon games, Jesus? Oh hey Knuckles, what do you have to say? You make me sick. Alright. Why? What makes you enjoy all of this so bad? I don't really know the actual source, that's something for my therapist to figure out, but we could probably start with the copious amounts of Courage the Cowardly Dog I watched as a kid. We did nothing to you. Maybe Tails was just right. Hey Knuckles, you got a little something on your face? You love to see us suffer in every possible way. I'm not gonna lie, it is kind of funny sometimes. We don't deserve to go through this hellhole. We don't deserve this. You do. Hey, the window is teleporting around my screen. Hey, stop it! You're making it more difficult for me to edit this video! You are the one who deserves all of this pain. Oh, you're inflicting all of this pain tenfold through the editing process, I promise. He is coming now. Ooh, I'm so scared. What could be so scary? Oh, I see. Seizure Man. Then we get an error message saying that the program failed to log on to my internet connection. Don't look at my history, it's full of stupid fun facts about Kirby, infinite craft answers, and failed voice acting auditions. And porn. The game closes, leaving me confused. Was that really it? I open the game again and immediately see that we're not done yet. The game states, let's try something different. We see an eyeless Sonic, Tails, and Eggman, and before our eyes, their sprites turn more detailed. What a glow up on your art, dude, nice. The window moves again, and we see Ray the Flying Squirrel running away from something. Demon Sonic shakes the window and laughs at us for a bit before pulling the whole hide-and-seek shtick we usually see with Tails. When Sonic catches up, we see the whole game corrupt with 4 creepy eyes staring back at us. Ray falls into an abyss and then gets killed by the spindly boy. Not that spindly boy, this spindly boy. Ray then lets out the most ear-piercing scream I've ever heard. We got a nice pair of eyes staring at us, hello. This is nothing to me after the shit that Doki Doki Literature Club put me through. God, I still hate it. Get it away! At first it seems like nothing is happening, but we gotta pay attention to the window name. You caused it to happen. Now it's too late. I'll be watching you from now on. Oh hey, this must be the Demon Sonic. Wait, it's actually just normal Sonic? Not only that, but with an original environment, original assets, and original music? What the hell? This looks cool! Sonic runs off and what was that? We enter Crystal Lake Zone and yeah, this is just a straight up original Sonic stage. Yeah, I'm actually really vibing with this stage. The art is great, the music is serene. What could go wrong? Hey, that's not fair. Well, Sonic has drowned. Vibrating eyes? My one weakness! Oh, we're back. Okay, I guess I'll just vibe again. Ah, sweet, a checkpoint. What the hell is that? I actually kind of hate this music, though, if I'm gonna be real. The kind of music with moaning and chants and reverb, it just creeps me the hell out. We go through a distorted drowning theme, and when it runs up, we see an eyeless Sonic once again with the Demon Sonic in the background. I am creating such a beautiful family, right, Game C? I would do the "that's not my name" joke again, but I feel like that was funnier before. But still, they are nothing compared to you. Aw, I'm flattered. I want to see you. From here, the window starts dancing all around my desktop and more creepy faces appear beside Sonic's. Judging by these error messages, apparently Sonic is trying to access my webcam. Not cool, man, I play these games without pants on. After more attempts to access my webcam, the game starts freaking out more and more and more. After a bit of this, I get jump scared by the game going full screen, going back to a corrupted Crystal Lake zone. I can't believe I literally got jump scared by more game. I'm a master of this level by now, since it's just the same thing a second time. I'm so good that Sonic decides to look at me, clearly to tell me that I did a good job. Oh, he's even coming in for a smooch. So, you wanna get coffee later, or, oh, you closed. I start up the game again and realize, oh, the game just crashed. Whoops. I get back to when Demon Sonic stares lovingly into my eyes, and he phases through the ground and screams at me this time. Now we're in a cool sunset within the Crystal Lake zone. Shall we continue? We finally get to the end of the stage, see Metal Sonic for a second as he collects a red Chaos Emerald, and we win! Going on to Act 2, when we get to this ledge, Sonic peeks on over to see an animal capsule. With our goal set, we set off to save this. Ah, fuck, it's Eggman and Metal Sonic. Metal Sonic helps us along by pushing us over to the capsule, but Eggman immediately destroys it. As Sonic and Eggman are about to duke it out, the demon appears out of nowhere and tears Eggman apart piece by piece. We see this terrifying image of Eggman's face, screaming for the pain to stop. Game closes again, this time I hope intentionally, and we start the game up one more time and appear in Zone. Out of the gray void walks a demonic-looking Tails. You can tell he's a demon because he has blue shoes. Tails goes from Walton Files to normal real quick as he travels forward. After a bit of tippy-tapping, we catch a glimpse of the demon Sonic stalking us. Tails gets scared and tippy-taps as fast as Stewie Griffin. Walk forward enough and we encounter Spindly Sonic again. He lunges towards us, sets us ablaze, and then we get this. My girl, Amy Rose, looking a bit demented herself. Yup, this sure do be sequel bait. The game ends with a message thanking us for playing, and then a text file gets generated which ends up being a note straight from the developers thanking us for playing. You know what? I can see why this game caused a resurgence of the EXE genre. For one thing, it introduced a lot of fourth wall breaking elements like shaking the window, file creation, and fake error messages that EXE games from henceforth would then imitate. Not only that, but I'd say this is the first time someone has really gone experimental with the Demon Sonic's design. Before this, if you were making a Sonic.file extension game, people were always going for the black eyes with red pupils crying blood Sonic, and never really deviated from that. Sonic.EYX though? They made Sonic look as absolutely demonic as possible, and it really paved the way for a lot of different Demon Sonic designs from all over the fandom. As for the game itself, I kinda said it before, but I'm honestly impressed on how fun it is. There are portions of this game that are literally just a Sonic game, like playing through Green Hill Zone as Tails, or any portion where you're playing as Sonic in Crystal Lake Zone. The physics of this game feel shockingly identical to an actual Sonic game. I can't help but be impressed. It's just fun. So many EXE games before this were just walking to the right and getting jump scared. Now, there's a game here. I can see why so many people flocked back to Sonic.exe after playing this, Sonic PC port, and let's be real, the Sonic.exe mod for Friday Night Funkin'. I appreciate this game so much that I'm gonna say that I'm most likely going to get haunted by this.
Alright. we're 11 games into this endeavor. So how about we round it out to an even dozen? We'll look at one more game to truly see if we can get haunted. I've already done Kirby, SpongeBob, Sonic. What could I possibly do next?
Garfield? Really? Garfield? Since when has Garfield ever been horrifying? I'll tell you when, never. Whatever, let's just get through it. We open the game to what most other games open to, a title screen. We see Garfield walk on screen and, Odie is looking like a meatball I'd put on my lasagna, if you know what I mean. As soon as the two animals meet, the game glitches and it just shows no one. We start the game and Garfield is inside of this house. Oh god, it's a rat! He's coming right for me! Alright, let's get a move on. As we traverse this house that really could use a rearrangement of furniture, we get run into by a demonic-looking John Arbuckle. Strange, usually in these Garfield horror things, John Arbuckle is the victim, not the demon. Either way, we ignore that like it's a glitch or something and we move on. Oh damn, it's nighttime now. Didn't know I was playing this game for hours already. Garfield hears a noise and looks shocked as Odie's decapitated head gets thrown on screen. Everything turns red as... You know, if I had a nickel for every time these games crashed on me, I'd have way more than 2 nickels. So I reopen the game to try and play it again and it throws a tantrum all over my computer. Now we just see Garfield in an empty room, just lying there. As we stare at this, a bunch of text files open in Notepad saying, "The damage has already been done." We start making our way through this dark, decrepit, abandoned house as we start to get some messages. You are alone. Why would he care for you at all? You are useless. That's why he left you. After reading all of that and getting through the house, Garfield looks at what seems to be an apparition of John Arbuckle.
There he is!
The illusion you thought was real. It's time to say goodbye. John fades away, Demon John appears, takes Garfield, and the game screams at me again, opening more text files called fucked, saying, "But I'm still here." We are then told by the game that our computer will shut down in 1 minute. I appreciate the warning because it gave me just enough time to end my recording so that I didn't lose any footage. Yes, the game actually did shut down my computer. So rude. After this boomer-ass game tells me to get off the screens and go outside, I turn my computer back on and turn the game back on. Now we're outside of the house and it looks like a beautiful day out. At least until Demon John appears and swallows us in darkness. I'm not gonna lie, that was a pretty cool effect. After a bit of travel, Garfield finds yet another dead body. This one stabbed in the chest and missing its face. I have no idea who this character is. Is this an original character or an actual Garfield character? I'm not a big enough fan of Garfield to know. If you know who this is, put it in the comments below. Oh my god, there's platforming in my Garfield game! After showing off my wicked platformer skills, we get a Sonic.exe-esque appearance from Demon John. Oh, there you are. Looks like you didn't end up like Odie, huh? But now there's no coming back. We then get a distorted face of Jim Davis, the guy who made Garfield, telling us to run, and Demon John comes right for us. I try to run, but unfortunately there truly was no escape. We then see the final fate of Garfield and Odie, both baked into lasagna. Honestly, that's how I would imagine Garfield would want to go, becoming the very thing he loved the most. Nah, that's actually just because I died. I went back into the game and got back to that moment and just barely got away from Demon John, being screamed at by a distorted Jim Davis the entire time. When we finally get back, Garfield sees Odie's fate. Odie has now become lasagna. What did he do to him? I can't help him now. Well, he was useless anyways. This lasagna looks tasty. We then hear the sounds of Garfield eating the Odie lasagna. Roll credits! What the hell did I just play? So let me just get this straight. Garfield is being haunted by the evil spirit of John Arbuckle, who killed Odie and turned him into lasagna, and then Garfield just eats the lasagna? This is definitely the most unique story we've encountered thus far, I think. So just like my criticism of the previous games, I'm just left wanting a little bit more. Some of the fourth wall breaking stuff was cool, and it honestly impressed me that the game literally initiated a shutdown sequence. Thank God I was just recording and not streaming, because that would have been mad frustrating. I also really appreciate the warning. That literally let me know to stop recording, and then when the computer rebooted, to start it back up. Thanks to that warning, I didn't lose any footage. This game certainly shows potential. It's just really short. According to the itch.io page for this game, they're actually currently working on a new Garfield horror game that will continue the story that they started to establish here.
Lasagna team, if you're watching this, please email me when you are finished with this new game. I want to play it. There's a pretty good chance I'll get haunted by Garfield the cannibalistic lasagna eater. Well, shit. That was 12 games we played today, and I don't think I'm any closer to becoming a Creepypasta Protagonist than when I started. Some of them got close, but some of them barely did anything to me. Oh well. I guess I'll just go steal candy from children and watch all 13 Halloween movies. What's this? Regret? This! I can't just stop at 12 games! 13 is like the spookiest number! This is gonna be the one. I can feel it. Let's plug it right in.